Hello, this is KT0 bringing another every commentary on Infinite Isle. For today we have a Allies versus Empire, and on the left side of the map is our Empire player whose name is Del. He's in light blue, and on the right side of the map we have Maniek, a bit of a familiar face here. I've casted his game before. He's an extremely solid player with a very high level micro indeed, and you see that he's open with a barrack first or boot camp. That's because he's an ally. And our Empire player has also opened with a dojo, actually two dojos. I'm pretty sure I saw a dojo for, yeah, there's the second dojo for them. He's going to go into one refinery, two refineries, so it's dojo into two refinery eco build. It's a very firm map control build, looking to establish his control of the game in the late stage. And but our ally player has other ideas. He's not planning on going to the late game at all. He has established his own airbase before anything, even before his refinery, so he's looking for a very standard, if you know what I mean, very standard, very traditional build for the allies players, and he's going to look for put on pressure to his opponents and extend his economical advantage behind that. Does the Empire player know about that? Yes, he is. I'm pretty sure that he just moved a something here and it was shot down by the Apollo fighters. It should be a scouting drone, thus. So he is planning on responding it with a mega bay, possibly looking for some counters to the airbill of the allies player with some Tengus or indeed a Striker VX. Although at this point the question would be, would he have enough time before the air force of the allies players move in and destroy his entire economy? I do not think so, because the allies player already has a cryocopter out. Yes, as I assumed, he is going to move straight into the Empire player's base and not freeze every single miner and destroy only with one bomb from the Vindicators above. And what is the Empire player doing? He doesn't have any form of anti-air. I'm not seeing any Tengu coming out. And keep in mind that even if he has Tengus, he has to gather the Tengus to a very significant number before they can actually leap out to the sky and do anything remotely useful. And before that, I think his entire economy line would be decimated by the Allies' air force. And indeed, that's exactly what is going to happen. We see that the Empire player, it doesn't have money right now, so his construction has come to a complete halt, and his economy is legitimately dead now. The Allies player, it looks like he's not planning on staying in the base for too long. He's going to evacuate out of there and looking to establish his late control, perhaps looking to establish another refinery and transition into Mac. That would be the most deadly strategy of all. We see that cryocopter remains in the Empire player's base, is now freezing away the Striker VX before it can do anything useful, and one bomb from the Vindicators will destroy the frozen VX, and indeed that's what happened. And unfortunately, an engineer being frozen there. We see that the Empire player has now rebuilt his economy, but he was forced to sell his MCD here to gather the money in order to rebuild the two miners, and he now has an economy and is now building up his entire defense. The problem is he too behind to catch up to the Allies player? The Allies player Maniek, with a very crisp timing and a very good micro, is taking a significant lead in this particular game here, and we see that he now has two refineries as opposed to his opponent's two refineries as well. The problem is, his advantage is that he has a fully functional airbase, which is still continuing the production of cryocopters, and he has his own MCV, so if he wants to transition or indeed expand into the water or the center of the map here, he can do so as he desires. And we see that the Empire player has actually now gathered a very significant anti-air defense here. 3 Striker VXs is pretty enough to repose any unprotected cryocopter here, because, well, if you shrink one, you still have the other two shooting away at the cryocopters, and shrinking does take time. Although it's less than 2 seconds, but it's enough as you can see that the cryocopter was brought down to red here, so the Allies player has to be very careful with his micro of the Air Force, otherwise he will end up being messed up pretty badly. And we see that the Empire player apparently has decided that a 3VX is quite enough for anti-air support, and is now going to move on to the production of Tengus here, looking to establish his own air dominance as well. I would say dominance, at least some degree of air control. It's very necessary for him to win this game here, because as long as the Allies player holds the air control, he can do whatever the hell he wants and hit wherever the hell he pleases, basically. So if he sees that the Empire player's force is here or somewhere far away from his base, he will move in with his cryocopters. He doesn't even have to move in with the Vindicators, he just has to shrink the miners in order to hold the mining, and just buy himself enough time to transition into something else and completely crush the Empire player. I am an Empire player myself. I have been crushed by that strategy numerous times, so I know how scary it is. And we see that the Empire player is now very wisely moving an Imperial Warrior into the Allies player space, looking for some scouting information there, and the Allies player has shrinked, and I do mean shrinked, his MCV, and is moving it to the center of the map, possibly looking to expand here. Well, it's not possibly, it's most definitely it's going to expand here, otherwise there's no other reasons for him to move the MCV here other than early, noticeably early from map control. Say if you put a counter turret somewhere along this area and put some unit production structures here, then you'll be able to shorten the distance from his production to his opponent's base significantly, and he can pressure his opponent all day with his mighty air force and the ground force as well, should he desire so. And we see that the Allies player is a bit careless with his air force, and has lost one Vindicator there, had to replace it with one more Apollo fighters for firmer map control, firmer air control, I would say. And the 3VXs was actually shot by shotguns, wow, of the peacekeepers there. However, though, we have the Empire player moving into the Allies player space, doing some backstabbing, destroying one of the miners here. So the Allies player is now down to one refinery, so any units that he loses, he will not be able to replenish it in time, or indeed as fast as the Empire player could. And the Empire player just continuing the production of Tengus. I would assume that he's queued up a whole bunch of Tengus just to replenish his unit lost at his opponent's base here. And oh no, he's actually rebuilding an MCV behind this harassment. Okay, this is very smart. He sufficiently uses his units in his opponent's base to put on pressure, so his opponent is not paying attention to harassing the mineral line here, and instead he's putting his whole air force and his ground force as well, which is mainly consists of infantry, and inside his own man base, and defending against Tengus, while his Empire opponent was able to rebuild. Hold on, I heard a protocol being used there, and indeed a cryobin was shot from the satellite there, and unsuccessfully freezing the ore collector there. The ore collector, using a very useful trick, just evacuate outside of the ore mine here and outside of the wall as well. So preserving it, good job by the Empire player. We see that the Empire player now does have vision through this watchtower. I didn't even know when he occupied it, excuse me. It's a very good move. You can always keep an eye on this location here, and if your opponent does decide to move out anywhere near this area, you will be able to see his air force, and any force indeed. And we see that the Allies player is now behind. Indeed, he has built a multi-gunner turret here, so his defensive line is now here, this area. Thus his air force will be able to move along this line here without being weighted, if you will, by the entire air force of the Empire player. And the Empire player is now doing some good harassment here, abusing the fact that the Allies air force has to take turns to do any form of attack. You have to wait for the next round of attack before it can be commenced. You have to go back to their airbase and resupply yourself, and before that your structures and miners and so forth are going to be trashed by the harassment force of the Empire player. What is the Allies player doing? He's not doing anything. He should be moving his Apollo fighters doing such. Oh no, he actually moved his Apollo fighters here looking to harass there, but he was not paying attention, and thus he has been unpowered by the VX's strike force, and because his power plant was destroyed there, and 3 peacekeepers happily shooting away at the VXs and now going to be repulsed by the Tengus there. And what do we have here? The Allies has actually expanded to the center of the map. He is finally, and I do mean finally, built all refinery here, and I can only assume that he's going to resume the construction of these miners soon before. Well, I wouldn't say that I necessarily agree with that, because you can always queue up a miner there, and if your opponent's force is still inside of your base, you can always hold it in the last moment. So as long as they evacuate out of there, you can resume your minings at that particular ore mine immediately. And we see that the very good micro there, lifting his VX before the Vindicator's bomb actually reaches it. It's very tight micro. I can't say that I can do it myself, but hey, these are pros. By the way, this is a pro series. It's some sort of a tournament, I assume. I don't know what the prize pool is. I don't have any form of information as to what this tournament is. I don't even know what the name of it is. So yeah, I do have the whole replay pack. Excuse me, I do have the whole replay pack, and I'll be casting the rest of the game as well. So there are some things for you to look forward to, and we see that the Allies player is now moving in with his Vindicators, looking I heard an Aquarium being utilized there, and yes indeed it was thinking about freezing this ore collector, doing so unsuccessfully, and the Vindicators was being repulsed by a large number of Tengus here, and the Allies still only has 1 airbase. I don't see what the hell he's doing, producing only from this airbase here and not looking to transition into other place or indeed do any other unit productions. Bit of glitch there, I'm sorry, of any form. So this is a very unwise decision here that might cost him the game. He hasn't even rebuilt his ore collector here, so even though he does have 3 refineries, he's effectively running on only 2. I wouldn't say it's the wisest choice of all, but hey, I have seen Maniek put out crazier things from this than this before, and if his position of the Air Force is right, he can still take out his opponent's economy and win this game. But of course, now it looks like that he's not going to do so. He's going to lose this game and GG out of there right away when he sees the tsunami tanks here. His opponent is just too wise in terms of transitions. Good game. Okay, this is KT0 here. I just want to apologize to you guys that I haven't been living up to my promise there of uploading games daily, so I'm sorry. I've been taking my exams and I've been having, you know, I do have a part-time job and I'm having insomnia and fevers, all kinds of stuff. It's been a troubling week, folks, and I do want to apologize, and yeah, I'll see you in the later games.